You know, it's interesting to me how Tom Aspinall was the one that was poked in the eyes, but yet you have people out here defending Ciryl Gane and blaming Tom Aspinall for the way that ended in Abu Dhabi yesterday. You just can't make it up, man. You just can't make it up. It's absolutely ludicrous. Let's just call it what it is. People had it out for Tom Aspinall coming into this fight. That's the reality. Whether they're Jon Jones fans, they just don't like Tom Aspinall, whatever the case may be, we are now in a very interesting time in the UFC with the heavyweight division. And I got to be honest, man, we're gonna discuss the fight because I feel like people got it all wrong when it comes to what was going on in there between Tom and Ciryl Gane. Then we're going to discuss some of the things that were coming from Dana White, the UFC brass, and also some of the things that I feel were, I don't want to say troubling, but things that kind of put a target on Tom Aspinall's back coming into this fight. So I want to kind of recap everything and get my thoughts because I got a lot of thoughts on this, man. I just can't believe how people are like putting this all on Tom Aspinall. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. He's the guy that got poked in the damn eyes, man. He's the one that got poked in the damn eyes, and people are out here making it seem like he's the bad guy. It's absolutely ludicrous, man. Absolutely ludicrous. But here's the reality of what was going on in that fight. It was a very competitive fight. It was a very competitive round while it lasted before the foul. And we were seeing a high-level chess match, man. We were seeing some good back and forths. We were seeing Tom Aspinall exploding into range. We were seeing him get some of those kicks off. We saw Ciryl Gane shuck off a takedown. And I feel like a lot of the way that this fight was being judged and assessed from what we were seeing was the fact that so many people, including myself, I'm one of those people, we had these high expectations for Thomas Paul Aspinall. We had these expectations that, well, he's going to go in there and just run through Ciryl Gane because given what Jon was able to do to Ciryl Gane, we kind of elevated Tom to this status of, well, Jon Jones, he's ducking Tom Aspinall. He wants nothing to do with Tom, so we had these high expectations to where it was a lot for Tom to live up to, man. It was a lot for Tom to live up to, and he's going in there with all this pressure, right? Whether he feels the pressure or not, we don't know, but it felt like he was going in there with kind of all this weight. Like, I got to go in there. I got to get this thing done. Given the saga between him and Jon Jones, the way that Jon went out there and dealt with Ciryl Gane, it just felt like no matter what Tom did in this fight, unless he got this 1-minute finish, he was going to be criticized heavily no matter what happened. But people are getting it wrong, man. This was a very competitive first round, man. A very competitive first round. We were seeing a good back and forth. And the biggest thing that I think, is really what a lot of people are putting a lot of stock in is the fact that Ciryl Gane showed up, man. He absolutely showed up in this fight, and he was doing a lot better than what a lot of people were anticipating. That's basically why everyone's kind of reacting the way they were. Like, Gane was busting him up. Gane was destroying him on the feet, man. He was outclassing Tom Aspinall. This was a competitive chess match, dog. This was a competitive chess match. This was not a 10-7 first round, 10-8 first round, whatever, of Ciryl Gane going out there and dusting and working Tom Aspinall. There's people out there trying to make it out to be like that's what was going on, man, which just couldn't be further from the truth. This was a competitive fight. Ciryl Gane was slightly ahead of Tom Aspinall, I will say that. He was getting the jab going, landing those oblique shots, getting the leg kick game going. Ciryl Gane shucked off the takedown, right, extending his eyes in the process of that as well. Then we get the eye pokes, and the fight gets stopped, dude, and we have a no contest. But to act like the first round was not competitive and Gane was just running away with it, that's all. We saw what we needed to see. Gane was being counted out. He's the better fighter, dog. He was out there schooling the overrated Tom Aspinall. That ain't what happened, man. It was a competitive fight. I feel like a lot of the reason that people are feeling the way that they are is because, one, they were just rooting against Tom Aspinall, but also the fact that Gane was doing better than what a lot of people were anticipating. I feel like that's the reality. That is the reality, man. It was a competitive first round. Stop acting like this was some sort of one-sided beatdown by Ciryl Gane up until the eye pokes, because it just couldn't be further from the truth. Couldn't be further from the truth, and now we're in a situation where we have a massive rematch on our hands, right? And I feel like a lot of the critiques for the heavyweight division is, look, we had the saga with Jon Jones, held up the division for a while. It fucked over the division. That's the reality, right? It fucked over Tom Aspinall, screwed over the division. It kept it stale. We got Tom out here defending interim titles and all those kinds of things to where now the saga's behind us and it feels like we can move forward and we have a fight here with Gane and Aspinall, the two best heavyweights in the world. And the fight ends this way to where it felt like Aspinall was, going to run through him. That doesn't happen. We get the fouls, but now we got a very interesting rematch on our hands because I feel like a lot of the people that weren't super excited for this fight, this draws a lot more intrigue coming into the rematch, does it not? I think it does. I think it does because we clearly saw a dedicated Ciryl Gane because it was very obvious that he took this training camp probably more serious than he's ever took one before. He came in phenomenal shape, man. Phenomenal shape. Ciryl Gane was locked in, man. He was not taking a backward step, running around the octagon looking to stick and move. He was very much stand your base, mate. He was very much standing his base, looking to stand in there and trade with Tom Aspinall. He was floating in and out, landing the jab, busting up the nose of Tom Aspinall, which I'm sure is going to affect the breathing long term. Right? So, but people out here acting like this was some sort of one-sided beatdown by Gane in the first round is ridiculous. And to act like this is all Tom Aspinall's fault is just so ludicrous, man. He was the one that was fouled. He was the one that was poked in the eyes. And you got people out here defending Gane. You got people shitting all over Tom Aspinall. I just don't get it, man. Tom Aspinall's a great guy. He's doing the best that he can to market himself, right? He got, sidelined for how long it was, right? Out here with a YouTube channel, doing his thing to try to promote himself because the UFC wouldn't really do it. They just don't want to get behind this guy. And now that this happens, I mean, you can hear it from Dana White.
I said earlier, because of the John Jones fight, I think everybody was sleeping on Ciryl Gane and sort of wrote him off. But I feel like, I'm sure in his camp, he was training like an animal for this fight. And it's unfortunate that it ended the way that it did. And yes, I think that there probably will be a lot more interest in the rematch after they saw, he had Tom bloodied up, and Tom didn't want to continue in the fight. So the rematch is very interesting.
You could hear it from Chael Sonnen and Anthony Smith.
Anthony? No, I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed. I talked all day yesterday. Like, I just want to see Tom have to overcome some adversity. I want to see what he does when when his first plan of action doesn't work. What's he checked down to? Is he gonna wrestle? Can he compete with Ciryl Gane on his feet for 25 minutes? And I don't get any of those answers, and just like everybody at home, I'm disappointed.
Being poked in the eye is illegal, Brendan, but to fight with one eye is very common. The opponent's trying to hit your eye. He's trying to bust up and make your nose bleed. So that part of it does have question for guys like Anthony and I. We're trying to be polite. We're trying to show grace. But in all fairness, if you're the heavyweight champion of the world, you got to fight with one eye at times.
I mean, the UFC brass, it just feels like a lot of them, they're turning on Tom Aspinall, man. Like, the expectations for Aspinall coming into this fight were so high, and now it just feels like he's on the UFC and Dana White's shit list because he didn't want to continue off of being poked in the damn eyeballs, man. Again, not Aspinall's fault. Getting poked in the eyes is no joke, man. Getting poked in the eyes is no damn joke, and I'm just tired. I can't believe how people are they're literally raining down on Aspinall like this is all his fault. It's so ridiculous, man. So ridiculous, man. And again, the things that were going on during fight week, right? Andy Aspinall, Tom's dad, coach, manager, he's out there saying, look, I don't want Tom to renew his contract. I want him to, be done with this, move on, and I want him to go to boxing.
You said that. You wanted a boxing champion.
Yeah, for sure.
You're okay with an MMA champion, but you wanted a boxing champion.
Boxing for sure. The money is
more money. Yeah.
More money. Why not?
Would that be an outcome for him? No.
There's 3 more fights on the contract now.
Okay. So.
And I don't want to sign a new contract.
Okay.
Personally.
So.
Right, and there's people out there saying, well, maybe he's saying that because, he's trying to kind of play a negotiation game, right? Trying to get the UFC to back up the big truck, right? And start, loading off some racks to him, pay Tom Aspinall some more money. But I kind of read that as, well, hey, dog, like, the way that they've treated Tom, it hasn't been the best. They're not rallying behind him. They want John Jones back. John has always been the guy that the UFC is just like, John Jones. And John Jones is amazing, man. No one's taken away his greatness. But the reality is it just feels like the UFC and Dana White, they're picking and choosing who they want to promote and get behind. That's the reality here. And to see how this is unfolding, it's crazy, man. We have such a talented guy in Aspinall and the disrespect that it feels like he's getting from the UFC. And now it definitely isn't going to get any better after this because Dana White basically made it very clear, like he was not happy, man. Obviously, when you get a main event that ends this way, it's anticlimactic. You got to rebook it. It kind of stalemates time. We get all those things. He's not happy about this one. We understand that. And then for Andy Aspinall, his dad to be out there like, we'll just go to boxing after a few fights. And then Tom Aspinall was saying, look, Ante D'Elia, right, coming over from the PFL, right? He's training with Tom Aspinall. And Tom's like, well, I'm the champion, so when it's his time, I'll just vacate, get out of the way, and let him do his thing.
He's already said that the guy that's currently ranked number 10 is his friend, Ante D'Elia. And he would vacate the title if D'Elia got to a point where he was going to fight for the title.
So my friend and training partner has just got to the UFC. Nice. So like he's potentially like 2 or 3 wins away from like a title shot. So the thing is, if I'd never won a title, I'd never touched gold before, we would have to fight. But now I've done it, I would be like, I'll vacate it and he can have his time.
Firstly, what do you think about that?
You know what I think about that.
Yes.
Before you even ask me. I hate that, many friends, relatives, name it, have all fought each other before. It doesn't determine whether you are friends with somebody or you hate somebody. You're competing against them to see who the best is, but that's his decision. To even think about vacating it because you don't want to compete against somebody is absolutely insane, but he's a grown man. That's up to him.
Dana hates hearing that, man. Don't you remember with the whole Merab and Aljo situation? And I feel like that's part of the reason, like he was just, kind of all over Merab and Aljo. Like, he just can't really stand those guys, right? He's coming around more to Merab because of what he's doing. We know Dana White can't stand that kind of stuff, man. And it just feels like all of these boxes are being ticked for Dana White and the UFC to sit up there and go, Tom's not our guy, man. Tom's not our guy. It just feels like they've never wanted to rally behind this guy, man. And with all of these things leading into fight week, and then you get the footage that comes out on Tom Aspinall's YouTube channel of Daniel Cormier basically saying, like, there's nothing for you or whatever, however he said it, about the heavyweight division. Being like, Tom Aspinall is going to go on a run here. There's really nothing for him.
These matchups in this division, like, what type of run you can go on.
Yeah, I know.
You go crazy. You can, like, change your life.
Yeah.
Because, what is who Almeida's fighting, sir? Chilton can't fight.
Who do you think's going to win?
Chilton, I don't know.
I think Volkov, probably.
Yeah, but even him, right? You beat him in the first round. It's like, it can crazy.
Yeah.
Bro, you're on the verge of some crazy
I appreciate it. I'm going to keep doing my
working
thing.
hard, though.
Thanks, bro.
You got to keep working hard.
Thank you. I will do. Will do. Listen, I'm working harder now than I ever was.
When things like that, like, doesn't come around often, right? It's like when I got to fight Volkan. I had to defend the belt against Volkan Ozdemir one time, man.
You couldn't believe you looked.
And I won the lottery, son. Well, they were like, hey, man, we think you get to fight Volkan. I'm like, yes, I'll take it.
And to kind of air that out on your YouTube channel, I thought that was wild, man. Right now, granted, Tom's got the mic on, Cormier's whispering basically right into it as they're kind of having a conversation. But I feel like Daniel Cormier probably thought that was a private conversation. And so to air that out on YouTube, it just feels like all these boxes are being ticked in the aspect of the UFC and Dana White being like, just sitting there going, just shaking their head at Tom Aspinall. And then this happens. Just an absolute disaster that went on at UFC 321 in Abu Dhabi, man, yesterday. Absolute disaster. I made my recap video giving my thoughts, but the more that I go back, I watch the fight again. It was a really competitive fight, man. It was a high-level chess match. We were seeing Tom Aspinall actually tested. He wasn't going out there steamrolling through Ciryl Gane like a lot of us thought was going to happen. Gane was standing his ground, had a good game plan. Every time Aspinall, blitzes into range, he leaves himself open to where Gane was timing him with a jab, was landing those leg kicks. Gane had a good game plan, man. And now the intrigue and the thought of we're going to run this back and what's going to happen? How's this going to play out? I feel like this rematch is going to be huge, man. I feel like this is, oddly in a way, it's horrible, and I hope Tom Aspinall is okay. I've said that numerous times because getting poked in the eye is no joke, and we got to wait to get an update here. People are like, go ahead and rebook the fight in December. We got to see what the status of Tom Aspinall is, man. We got to see what the status of Tom Aspinall is. I hope he's all right, man. And whenever we do get the rematch, I think it's going to be huge, man. I feel like the intrigue is going to be some of the most intrigue that we've had for a heavyweight fight in quite some time. We got two guys that are not fat asses. They are very much in shape, very game heavyweights that are light. They move, they feint. When do we ever see a chess match in the heavyweight division? That's what we were seeing last night. And instead of people appreciating that up until, we have the fouls and all this going on, people are up here too busy trying to shit on Tom Aspinall the whole time than to recognize that Dog, we got two heavyweights that move like lightweights in here that are neck and neck competitive, going back and forth. Like, we're about to get to the end of round 1, and then we're going to have to see these adjustments get made. We're going to have to see Tom Aspinall come out in round 2 with a busted nose up, right? He's bleeding, tasting his own blood for maybe the first time in his career, right? He's going to have to answer those questions. We're going to see Tom get drug out a little bit. How's he going to answer the bell here against a guy in Ciryl Gane, who we know that as the fight goes, he gets stronger? To where we haven't seen Tom in those situations, man. Average fight time, 2 minutes and 2 seconds it was coming into the fight. Where Gane, it was over 14 minutes. And that was kind of Tom Aspinall earlier, Ciryl Gane can pour it on him late, and who knows what's going to happen. Gane came out aggressive, man. You can't tell me that this rematch is not going to be incredibly hyped up now. Absolutely. And people out there saying Tom Aspinall ain't marketable. He's absolutely marketable. And so is Ciryl Gane. That's why the UFC booked this fight. This is the fight at heavyweight, man. This rematch is going to be huge. We saw a very high-level chess match. I was excited to see the adjustments that we were going to see it coming into round 2. Was Aspinall going to look to grapple more? Was he going to tighten some things up on the feet and, listen to his corner's advice? Was Gane going to come out more aggressive? What were we going to see, man? And I'm at the point where the saga continues. People blaming Tom Aspinall. Absolutely ludicrous, man. This guy did not quit, dog. He got poked in the damn eyeballs. And you got people out here, Anthony Smith and Chael Sonnen, well, I mean, sometimes you got to fight with one eyeball. How fucking smart is that? You're the heavyweight champ with all this pressure on you. You're going to go out there in front of a dangerous Ciryl Gane with basically one eye or compromised vision, and you just think that you're going to go out there and have your way with this guy? Ciryl Gane was putting up a much better fight than what a lot of people were anticipating, dog. And the people out there that are like, well, Gane was being disrespected, wouldn't that be like disrespectful of Aspinall to think that he's that damn good to where he's like, I'm going to go out there compromise. I don't care, man. I'll go out there and beat Gane with compromised vision. Nah, man. Tom Aspinall was the one that was fouled here. Stop defending Ciryl Gane, man. He made a mistake, stuck his fingers out there. Whether it was intentional or not, we don't know. It was bad, man. When they showed the slow-mo, it's very bad. Very bad. But all of these things that have kind of led up into this week, man, and just hearing Dana White at that post-fight presser, it's very obvious to me that it feels like Tom Aspinall is on the UFC shit list, and I just feel like they have it out for the guy at this point, man. And the way that Dana was complimenting only Ciryl Gane at the way that the fight was going, I mean, people are out here acting like Ciryl Gane was completely running away with this fight. It's absolutely crazy, man. Absolutely ludicrous. But you can't tell me the saga, man, it's going to go on here. This rematch between Aspinall and Ciryl Gane, it's going to be absolutely massive given what we just saw in fight number 1 prior to the eye pokes.